everyone. So my name is Reema. I lead marketing over here at Trilo, and welcome to another exciting episode of our podcast, Growth Stories. Our aim here is to bring you inspiring tales from industry experts we greatly admire, and we try to uncover their paths to success and try to learn valuable lessons from them. Today we have Mr. Varun Behl, the marketing managing director and co-founder of Kebabs and Curries Company, KCCO. That's what you guys call it, right?
Yes.
They're based out of Jaipur. They have a chain of restaurants and QSR. He has over 2 decades of experience in food and beverage industry. And Bell Brothers have expanded Kebabs and Curries Company into QSR, fine dining, customized catering services, to name a few, under the brand names Bahar Ke, Sohi, Rolls by KCCO, Biryani by KCCO, Thali, and many more. So, as a market leader and dynamic brand builder, Varun is focused on integrating cutting edge technology into every aspect of his brand. He's also a columnist, TEDx speaker, avid reader, fitness enthusiast, and ET leader 40 under 40 2021. That's amazing. So, let's hear the rest of the story from the horse's mouth itself. So, Varun, welcome to a podcast with such a diverse and huge experience. I'm actually eager to learn more about your journey. I'm very curious to know more, hear a lot of exciting stories from you.
Thank you, Reema. Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So when you started your career with Marriott International, you spent a decade. Can you tell us something about that transition from that industry to a co-founder of an F&B brand or an F&B company?
Sure. It's a very interesting one. So, in hotels, most of the hoteliers will agree that we get very busy at work and we hardly have time to think about anything else. So while in my last position as a director of food and beverage at a JW resort in Thailand, I got some free time on my hand after setting up the team, and the hotel was doing extremely well. So that was the time I started to read books. Books on entrepreneurship, books on financial freedom, books on such topics that could help me get better at my work. So while reading those books, entrepreneurship, financial freedom, etc., it occurred to me maybe it was the right time to probably make a move into business and become an entrepreneur, or at least try my hand on entrepreneurship, because I was, I think, 32 then, and that was probably the last leg. If I had to move, that was probably the, otherwise I would have become very comfortable as I would have gone ahead in my life. So, and at the back of the mind, I always had that in case things do not work out, I will probably always go back to hotels and, in 6 months. But fortunately, I didn't have to look at that option. Business took off really well. The good part was that my brother was already running a couple of restaurants in Jaipur. So basically, I had to simply come join my power and forces with him and grow the brand and the business much bigger. And we've been very fortunate and lucky. So yes, those few books here and there, a few not online sessions, but leadership sessions that I did during that time helped me to make this move.
So basically a constant learning journey, a constant self-evolution journey, to say it that way.
Yes, Reem, I think that's a great way to summarize it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming you handle a very strong part of branding and marketing when it comes to all the brands and the company, right? So what inspired you to place such a strong emphasis on branding with KCCO brands? And why do you believe that branding is important in F&B industry? Because I think this is an aspect that a lot of F&B brands overlook. Like branding and marketing is something that is overlooked a lot in this industry.
So, Reema, it's a great question. The thing is that I'll give you an example. 9 years ago, when me and Tarun, my brother, we opened our first restaurant together. So Tarun was already operating 2 restaurants. And when we opened our first restaurant together, we probably would have spent 50 lakh rupees to create that restaurant, like, setting up the place, furniture, interiors, etc. And you'd be surprised to know that I'm talking about 9 years ago, when 50 lakh was spent on making the restaurant, around 5 to 6 lakhs rupees was spent from our side, simply advertising and branding. Now, you would say, as your question is, why would you spend so much time? Now, I'm not saying brand advertising is only one part of branding. There is much more. But what I'm trying to say is that we have been very serious about this whole brand creation thing from the very beginning. And see, if I talk about the kind of food we serve butter chicken, we serve paneer butter masala. In a separate brand, we may serve a pizza. In
Right.
another brand, we may serve a lovely milkshake or a coffee. So these are all, I would say, commodities, right? So there's nothing very special about it. But the moment these items, these food items or beverage items get together behind a brand name, they become very powerful. And that's how you can continuously bring in customers. So if I talk about certain other aspects of brand, it could be loyalty, it could be uh, a great logo, it could be public relations, doing press releases, etc., doing press conferences when you're launching a new outlet. We have been very serious about it, and we have done it from day one. I remember when we opened the first outlet, both the brothers together, that was 2014, and that time there was no Instagram. Facebook was doing well, but not at that level. And I still remember we signed up for Facebook then. So Kebabs and Curries company's Facebook page dates all the way back to 2014. And we were in Jaipur. So, being in Jaipur and signing up for Facebook and paying someone then long ago to manage our Facebook page has probably turned around today and given us great mileage in terms of branding. So we are very serious about branding. And as I said, selling a paneer butter masala on its own and under a brand's umbrella makes all the difference.
Right. So you have various brands under KCCO, like you just mentioned, some brands sells, paneer butter masala, some sells biryani, some sells rolls. So there are different sections of F&B. So every section is not similar. So what are the key elements that you think, as a brand ambassador represents everything? Do you have those key aspects that usually follow in all of these sections, all of these brands?
You mean to say across the brands? What is it
Across the brands, yes, across the brands that makes them fall under KCCO's umbrella.
So you mean to say that what do we do in terms of branding to separate them?
Right. Both. So what do you do in terms of branding to separate them, and how do you make sure that certain strategies are being followed so people know that they are part of KCCO? Like KCCO has certain rules or maybe certain strategies that you fix for all of these brands that you're going to follow.
Sure. So I'll share three things or three strategies or strategic pillars, you can say. One is food quality and consistency. Now, quality is very important, but I feel consistency is even more important than food quality. So I would say food quality and consistency. And from a very long time, we have been making our gravies at a centralized kitchen. We've been doing all these preps at the centralized kitchen and sending it to our various outlets. And it makes us add more outlets very easily because we're focusing on the food quality and consistency. So that's the first thing. The second thing is your team. There is nothing more important in our kind of business than the team. If the team is great and on the right track, we can do wonders and grow very quickly. And the third thing is that we probably try and focus across our brands to make them successful as our systems and processes. Now, a system and process could be how much. So I'll give you a small example. There's a system in place across our brands that we engage Instagrammers and influencers on a monthly basis. So we have someone in our team who's in charge of getting in touch with all the Instagrams influencers on a monthly basis, selecting a few, bringing them together and kind of getting them to our restaurants and experience our product. So this is a system. It's not that one morning I wake up and I say, "Aaj Instagrammers ko bulate hain." It doesn't work that way. So this is just a system, a small process in the aspect of bringing in influencers. The same thing could apply to everything that we do in our business, from operations to marketing to food quality, etc. So just to summarize, food quality and consistency, I feel consistency is a more important thing because just to add on to it, a McDonald's burger may not be the best burger in the world, but till they do it consistently, they would keep bringing in the moolah or the money that they're doing. So food quality and consistency, team, and systems and processes. I think these three things, not just for our brands or our business, I think they apply to probably every business around the world.
Right. That's actually very insightful, amazing. I think McDonald's taste has been same since forever, since what we had in school, college, and it's still almost the same. So when you crave that McD burger, you can be assured that the taste is not going to change.
True. And that's very important. For a customer, that's I think that's paramount.
Yeah. Can you share some specific strategies or maybe some stories that can help our listeners understand more that what kind of branding strategies you have implemented that has proven like very successful for you? Like any stories or any such kind of tactics that you have to share?
So while we're talking, if a story
Yeah.
comes to mind, I'll certainly share. But something that I feel,
Hmm.
I think again, as food quality
Yeah.
में consistency ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, I feel same way when it comes to branding, I think
Hmm.
consistency or being consistent towards
Hmm.
always doing a little towards your brand and branding is very important. For example, as I said, bringing in Instagrammers and influencers on a regular basis. So that's the social media bit of it, helping the brand
Right.
part. So what we do is every quarter we will run an advertising campaign. So we will not do it maybe every month, but every quarter we'll run an advertising campaign. That again adds on to the brand. Every time we come up with a new product, we use press release, etc., those kind of things. So what I mean to say is that these consistent efforts help a lot. Plus something to do with loyalty. I'm saying the loyalty points, etc. This may sound very trivial, but to be very
Right.
honest, for our own customer, it is extremely important. And very meaningful because so airlines, hotels have been doing it for ages. And I think we have been doing loyalty for almost 7 years now.
Okay.
So, and 7 years ago, such things in restaurants, and that too, maybe in a two-tier city like Jaipur, was not very, how do you say, it was not very frequent. There was very few brands who were doing it. So we've
Right.
been giving loyalty points to our customers for the last 7 years. And I believe that also adds to the branding part and brings in a lot of business. So I would say these are few areas where if we continue to work consistently can help us a lot.
Right. So I see that you're a very technology savvy person, and you also believe that it plays a very important role. So how has technology played an important role in KCCO's brand journey? Like loyalty is one part of it that you mentioned. Is there any other place that you use tech, and how do you feel that it's important in F&B industry? Because I know that people don't use so much tech in F&B, but I also know that when I speak to few people that they say that they're using technology in such places wherein I cannot even imagine, and it has helped them with their processes a lot.
Sure. So I'm saying, let's talk about the
Yeah.
biggest brands in India
Hmm.
right now. And
Yeah.
if you ask them, are you a food brand? They'll say, no, we are a food tech brand, or we are a food tech company. So it could be
Yeah.
Domino's, it could be Rebel, it could be Wow Momos, etc. They all mostly call themselves food tech companies. And so we are also on a similar journey, may not be that big. So let me give you a few examples where probably you may have heard of, or not very frequently, about where we use technology. One is the customer facing thing, like the loyalty points. We have a KCCO app that is right
Hmm.
now under an upgrade, so we will soon
Okay.
relaunch the app. So that's all customer focused, which is very important,
Okay.
etc. Social media, I believe, is again technology and an integral part of our business. But there is another aspect of our business where we use technology. So at our head office, we do a lot of data analytics.
Okay.
That's again a big part of tech. So we have a data analytic. We use all our softwares, be it sales, be it cost, and we put it together and we analyze it. So that's a very exciting part of the business, to look at data and make sense of it. And I believe all the big companies are making the most impact because of data. And then there's another aspect where we use technology. So for example, instead of doing gravies at our centralized kitchen, we may go for retort gravies. So bringing in gravies pre-packed as per our recipes, as per our quality and consistency, so that the same quality of gravy could be transported across the country or even outside the country for supporting our brand. Right now, we're working with Mukunda Foods, and in our upcoming kitchens, couple of our existing kitchens, and in all our upcoming kitchens, we'll be using walkies, automated fryers, and so many other things. So that's how we're using technology. I'll give you this example. While COVID was on, let me share the story with you. I was doing my online MBA. So I was with Narsi Monji, NMIMS. I was doing my online MBA, and I happened to come across a robotic kitchen in Boston.
Okay.
The professor shared a video online for that, and that remained with me. So when COVID's first wave and second wave kind of settled down, I remember we partnered up with the engineering college in Jaipur with their robotics wing, and we said, let's come up with something robotic that can do food for us. So of course that did not work out with them. I'm saying it's still in R&D and that didn't shape up. But somewhere down the line, Mukunda Food came in and said, this is a great solution that we have to automate your kitchens. And we are using it, using a usage of ovens. So Paradise Biryani, if you speak about, they don't do biryanis anymore in big handis and all. They do it in their rational oven or Unox oven, etc. So that's how I think technology is playing a very critical role in food and beverage. And I think it's only going to go crazy from here. I'm saying better.
Yeah. So when we talk about all of this tech, can you sort of explain it in like a very simple terms? Let's say if you're using certain tech, certain oven, it might cost you something. But I think the results that it gives, maybe it reduces your, let's say, ETA, the process time, the make time, and how does it help you with your revenues ultimately? Because that is what people are looking at. That इतना महंगा टेक है, but ये मुझे help भी करेगा because मैं F&B में हूँ, शायद मुझे इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. So that's the argument that we keep on hearing when we speak to a lot of people.
So you're very right, Rima, that to bring in an oven, to bring in a superior technology, it may cost a big initial amount.
Sure.
But while we are a very people dependent business, and as I said, consistency of food quality is extremely important. So when the technology comes in, it may be upfront very expensive, but it'll help us give a more consistent product to our customers, because once the system knows, once the oven knows what has to be done with a chicken tikka or a pizza, it will do the same every time. And secondly, we become a little less people dependent. When I say a little less people dependent, oven is not going to give out the pizza automatically and put it on the guest table, but we may not need an extremely skilled person to run every oven at every outlet across our brand or other brands. So technology really takes away the dependence on highly skilled manpower, which is very difficult to manage in our industry. I'm to say whatever HR driven processes you may put in place, it's still it's difficult to manage manpower. So I believe this initial investment can really help us grow the brand while we maintain the consistency of the food. So I'll give you this story. I landed at Mumbai airport, and my friend was supposed to come and pick me up. And this was just 2 months ago, and he was a little late. So I saw a KFC kiosk right across at Mumbai airport, domestic airport. And I went up to him. I said, give me 6 pieces of chicken strips. So this gentleman opens the refrigerator. He removes the chicken strips that are already marinated. I'm looking at him. It's early morning, so he doesn't have much traffic. So I was watching him. He just puts some breadcrumbs. He just puts it in the fryer, and he goes away and he does something else. And after a few minutes, the fryer's buzzer goes on. He comes back. He picks it out. He doesn't have to check paka ki nahi paka, kya hua. He simply puts it in the box, puts it in a bag with ketchup or whatever dips I had ordered, and he hands it over to me. Now, imagine if it was not for technology of that deep fat fryer and the pre-marinated chicken pieces that are cut exactly they should be cut from their centralized kitchen or wherever. How would KFC do the same chicken strips all over the country or all over the world? And how will they multiply the number of outlets? So I think technology really makes an impact. And I think it's very important for us to जितना जल्दी अपना लेंगे उतना अच्छा रहेगा.
Right. Apart from oven, what are the other techs that you use at KCPO brands and that you can suggest? Maybe it's some software, maybe some tech. Like apart from oven, just for
as far as cooking the food is concerned, oven is one thing, which is walkies is another thing, and automated deep fat fryers is something else that we are using. We are testing a few other equipments that can a lot of equipments are coming from Mukunda Foods and a few other companies as well. So that's there. Softwares, we try and deal everything on softwares, from recording our revenues on POS, point of sales, and they are all cloud-based, and they should be cloud-based. To supply, how do we bring in our material? Everything is online, and it really helps us to kind of streamline our operations. And our aim is to expand outside Jaipur, outside Rajasthan, and I believe technology is going to be the key for that.
Right. At what other cities are you there right now? Like apart from Jaipur?
So Jaipur, Ajmer, Kota, and Udaipur. So in
Okay.
Rajasthan mainly, and we will soon, maybe in next 3 to 4 months, we'll be entering Gurgaon, hopefully.
Yeah.
And we want to do our own company operated outlets. So we are working towards it. So
So
Delhi
how are
NCR
you?
next.
So how are you studying customer behavior for all of these places? Because I think Rajasthan and Gurgaon are like very contrasting customer behavior when it comes to taste, and not just that. I think the competition that you're going to face over there. So how are you actually facing that, tackling that?
I completely agree with you. It's going to be extremely competitive in
Yeah.
Gurgaon, Delhi, NCR. It's a very, very competitive market, and there are some very old players who are well
Right.
established there. But then, you know, sharing it in a summary, that's the fun of the business, right? नहीं तो
Yeah.
फिर challenge नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? As far
Right.
as studying customer behavior and all is concerned, as I said, if you're serving good food consistently, uh, people will come to you. It may take time. It may not
Right.
happen on day one or first in 1 month, but it will happen. And so my brother always tells me this when he opened his first outlet in
Hmm.
Jaipur. There used to be an outlet across us. This was a very popular brand then called Chawla's from
Okay.
Ludhiana or somewhere. So they had a franchise just across our restaurant. And Rima, they used to have a queue of cars and people ordering from them from their restaurant all the way till our restaurant. So, and my brother used to idly sit at his place and just watch this madness happening. And there was no customer at his place. But there's one thing he didn't, there's one thing he did. He just remained persistent. He was
Okay.
always there. He could have easily shut down the shop or rented it to someone else and moved away. But he said, "Ye mera pehla business hai, main karunga. I'll not
Right.
give up." And just because he did not give up, he
Right.
just kept doing that little tweak here and there. It kept improving his product, kept working on things, took care of his team members. And I'm talking about back in 2003, so almost 20
Yeah.
years ago. That was a long ago, but he kept doing basic stuff well. And after 4 years, maybe, wo line ulti lagi. So, the queue came to our place and it was all the way to their restaurant. Now,
Right.
I'm not trying to show off here, but what I'm trying to say is that his persistence, and that's, I think, the biggest difference in a business or entrepreneurship and doing a job is job mein chal jata hai. But in business, you just have to be there. You have to be persistent. If you give up, then you're gone.
Yeah.
So
I think 4 years worth of mehnat is not showing off. That's I think it's the what do you say, mehnat ka phal in actually. I mean, being persistent for 4 years and making sure that the tables are turned. I think
true. So
that's a lot
I
of
hope
mehnat.
I hope the same happens in Gurgaon as well. It may take time, but we have some really good basics in place. Our
Hmm.
product is extremely good. We have a lot of people who travel on weekends and on long holidays from Gurgaon, Delhi, Noida, etc. Jaipur is
Right.
a popular destination for this segment,
Okay.
and I feel that we get some great reviews. Of
Hmm.
course, that we cannot translate into
Right.
100% success in those cities.
Hmm.
But we are confident that we can achieve that. It's just that we'll have to be at it.
Right. So did you change something in terms of branding when you moved from Rajasthan to Gurgaon? Like, are you changing some aspects of business or it's going to remain same? Like in terms of branding, in terms of messaging and all of that.
I think whatever we're doing in Jaipur is
Hmm.
pretty good. Of course, the channels will change. I'm to say
Hmm.
the Instagrammers here would be replaced with the Instagrammers there, for example, or influencers from here will be changed with influencers there. But I feel we are pretty okay as far as our basics are concerned. We just need to जैसा देश वैसा भेस करके थोड़ा बहुत changes होगा, but more or
Right.
less it will remain the same.
Right. I actually have one more question that popped up in my mind while listening to your last story. So you mentioned in 2003, that line one, that the line got reversed, and for 4 years, your brother just waited and being persistent. So was customer feedback a part of that journey to make those chota iterations that it did? And how do you take those customer feedbacks? What is your process of taking that? Or if you give that like a lot of importance in your business and then you implement those, like how that goes
So,
about.
so should I give you an example from today or should I give you an example from 2003?
I think both. Let's do both.
So 2003,
Yeah.
we were having this conversation this morning,
Yeah.
actually. We were discussing it with one of our outlet managers.
Hmm.
He was at the office for some meeting.
Yeah.
So Tarun was mentioning that in 2003, 4, in our initial years, when a customer used to come, so you know that the restaurant used to be empty. तो आके कहते थे भैया खाना अच्छा मिलेगा ना. So what we used to do was, it was a very small thing, but we used to say, sir, आप रुको, I will make the gravy for you and I'll make it tasty. So we'll bring a little katori before he orders. We'll make him taste it. Sir, अब इसमें आपको मिर्च मसाला कम करना है तो बताइए, otherwise, you know, we can do this for you. And doing this with every second customer really helped us. So a customer really wants to be heard. A customer really wants, you know, they want us to see them and take care of them and, you know, create a great relationship. And these little things here and there helped us a lot. Tarun himself was a face of the outlet at the cash counter, taking care of almost every order, every customer, maybe tasting the food himself. So he has always been in this feedback business as a person, and now we are as a company in this, and we take this very seriously. To give you an example from this morning, there's a lady whose wedding event we had catered 2 years ago. So she was at one of our vegetarian restaurants, Thali and More brand, 3 days ago. And she's like, Varun, she took the photograph of that paneer dish. She said taste and all was great and service was fine, but I felt that you have reduced the portion sizes. I said, we haven't touched our portion sizes at all. I sent her a message replying to her WhatsApp chat. She said, no, we only got 3 to 4 pieces in our paneer wala dish and it should be more. I said, let me get back to you. And I could have easily, you know, just let it go. She was just sharing the feedback with me, but I called the manager of that outlet. I said, "Ye photograph guest se aaya hai. Are we missing something here?" He said, "Sir, वैसे तो 8 piece जाते हैं हमारी पनीर की dish में, but if the guest is saying it's only 3 to 4, let me check with the team." And so while the manager checked with the team, we retrained our team. I went back to the customer today afternoon, just before this call, and said, "Ma'am, we have fixed it. You know, and we are retraining our staff. It may have been a mistake on our part, but we have fixed it." When we take feedback, there's another aspect that we add. So these are 2 examples I've given you from 2003 and today. Well, we really believe in service recovery. So I'll share this with you. Up till a few months ago, Zomato used to leave the addresses of the customer who's ordering through Zomato and our restaurant on our bills. So हमें guest का address मालूम होता था. So if any customer was giving a bad review for whatever reason, खाना ठंडा आया वगैरह वगैरह, the manager will pick up that address, और 2 manager या 1 manager और chef मिलके उस customer के घर चले जाएंगे and will apologize. And if the review was like really terrible, that, you know, we have really done a blunder for whatever reason, we will even carry a bouquet or an apology card, etc. Unfortunately, now Zomato and Swiggy do not share mobile numbers and addresses anymore with us, but we still jump onto it. Service recovery, if these 2 words, service recovery is a concept, as an aspect. If you call any of our outlets and you ask them, "Ye service recovery kya hota hai?" Even a normal person working at a restaurant will explain you, "Ma'am, service recovery kya hota hai and how do we do it?" So we're very focused on guest feedback and service recovery as well, and we have made it a part of our company culture to kind of keep it. फिर कुछ, you know, some people will tell us, our team will tell us, "Sir, पता है आपको वो customer ने ना हमें पागल बनाया and he took extra food." You know, like he complained and he took free food. So our outlook at that is very simple. There would be 1, 2 people here and there who will try to take advantage or undue advantage of such such culture that we have. But all in all, we become very strong as a brand when we focus on service recovery and guest feedback. So we just want to stay with that, even if a couple of customers end up, you know, having add-on free food from us or a fake complaint, but we are okay with that.
Right. I think out of 10 customers, even if 2 takes advantage, you end up converting those 8 lifetime customers. I'm sure that lady with 4 pieces or 5 pieces is now your like a lifetime loyal customer.
And we have done the wedding for them. They're still eating at our places. They order home delivery from us, and it was a genuine follow-up from my side. I could have easily just put it away. छोड़ो यार क्या फर्क पड़ता है. But just taking a little pain here and there goes a long way. And I believe if I will do it, I'm sure to a larger extent, my team will also do it.
Yeah, because they see and learn. They see and learn. Yeah. So how do you manage such kind of huge feedback incoming then? I mean, do you have some system in place? They fill the form, or is there something like if I come to your restaurant one day and if I want to feel the feedback, I just speak to someone over there?
So I'm so that's something that we have a little feedback form
Okay.
online. That's fine, but I don't think there are a lot of customers who end up doing it. Even if you send them a SMS or a WhatsApp with a link, there aren't many customers who fill it. But what we really do is that when so as we were talking about technology, there's another platform that we use wherein
Hmm.
all the online reviews from Zomato, Facebook, Swiggy, not Swiggy, Zomato, Facebook, Google,
Okay.
Easy Diner, Dine Out, etc. They all come into that platform. And from there, we have a person dedicated on our team at our head office who processes all the bad reviews. The good reviews are either answered by us means our team, or by the software itself. We have some certain templates, and through artificial intelligence, we are using technology. But all the negative reviews, so that's for the positive reviews, we read through them, we are very happy, and we reply to them. But for all the negative reviews, we take them up from the head office, and they're shared via that software to every outlet manager. And they have their own targets at how many. So let's say if last month a particular outlet got 10 negative reviews, all in all, feedback, their target will be to bring it down to 8, then to 7. So this gradual improvement. So we have these processes in place where we are really trying to keep a good control on reviews and feedback coming in. Again, using technology.
Yeah, I think you have very watertight processes in place, and that's really amazing. Something to learn from.
Thank you, Rima.
Yeah. We spoke on loyalty a lot. You started loyalty way back in 2003.
No. 2000. I don't think 2003 would have had a loyalty for restaurants. We all started it 7 years ago. So I think 2016 or somewhere.
How did you educate your users, or how did you promote your loyal program that you'll get points and all of these? Because I keep hearing from people saying that customers are getting like they are not that enthusiastic about these kind of programs or to enroll or give their data and stuff like that. How did you promote it?
I would say otherwise. I think
Yeah.
the customer who's loyal to your brand is
Yeah.
certainly going to be extremely interested. So let's take this example. If I am going to a supermarket just once, let's say I go to a local supermarket and they ask me for a loyalty card of their place, I may say I don't have it, and I may not even enroll for it because I'm not a person who probably goes to the supermarket every week. I may order online, but someone who really frequents a supermarket would always carry their membership card or their loyalty card. So, sorry, if someone says that people aren't interested, I think your relevant customer base will always be interested and will ask you for loyalty.
Right.
And
so do you also spend time educating your staff on a basis of that you educate your people serving and, saying them, talking about the brands or these are the things that you guys
so
have?
when we started 7 years ago, it was very difficult. I'm saying forget about educating the customer or informing them what the program is. It was so difficult to make our team understand that why do we have to collect the mobile number? How do we have to feed it into the system? How do the points get pushed to the customer? Then they were like, "Sir, kyun dete hain? Kya fayda hai?" Because they do not understand. Not everyone understands the long-term aspect of this. And if I talk about, I'm saying restaurant industry is still very new in the loyalty bit, or we are not that big. If you talk about airlines and hotels, majority of business comes through their loyalty programs. I have worked for Marriott hotels for 12 years, and I can tell you that Marriott emphasizes so much on loyalty. Their loyalty program that used to be called many things earlier, now it's called, I think, Bonvoy, Marriott Bonvoy. And they're crazy about it. They train their team members on it over and over again. They push campaigns to their customers to make them educated. And I think they do so much business through this loyalty program of theirs. And now it's the biggest hotel company in the world, when you talk about luxury hotels. So I think loyalty is very strong, and yes, constant focus with the team, constant giving kind of informing the customers about new features, etc., etc. But loyalty is very important, and that's where the campaigns come in. I think it was a Christmas festival ongoing where Christians fast. So we had a Christian family who used to order with us, and during that few days they do not eat non-veg, whatever I have learned. So so there was a message that went from our campaign that went on WhatsApp, offering a discount because I think it was some festival going on all over the place. It was a fasting season, Navratras or something. So any, all the communities were fasting. But I still remember after looking at this message, this gentleman came, he ordered the chicken. He didn't even avail the discount, but just because he had seen that message, he was like, I
Yeah.
have to eat. So now there's just one example that people, so campaigns, and only when you are running the loyalty program or a good one, you will send them campaigns. You will keep the customers interested. And whoever says that loyalty program may not work very well, I think for your customer base that's loyal or that's interested in you, I think you can convert them into very loyal customers of yours.
Right. That's very interesting. So, Varun, I have three more questions to ask, which is actually very unrelated but related to you. One, you talked about books initially when we started a
Mhm.
talk. So, I would like to know what are any books that you would like to suggest to our restaurant owner listeners or to our listeners who are looking to, in this
So,
industry that has helped you in your journey?
so there's one book.
Hmm.
There's one book about habits that's called Atomic Habits by James
Yeah.
Clear. It's a very popular book, and it's matches its hype. I've read it, and I've also heard it on Audible, like podcast, and watched numerous videos around it. So James Clear's Atomic Habits is an amazing book to make yourself better as an individual and entrepreneur. If someone wants to read books on business, on entrepreneurship, or how to make your company an enduring company and a better company, it could be food and beverage or any other company, then there's an author called Jim Collins. Jim
Okay.
Collins is an American author who has written numerous books ranging from good to great, When the Mighty Falls, Great by Choice. And this is one of his books that I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Called Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0. This is a second version of Beyond Entrepreneurship. This was probably one of his first books, and I think he has kind of
Right.
tweaked it and brought it back. Great author. Does a lot of research on companies that have lasted decades and how they reached there, and how they fell, or how companies from a fall came back up. So you can learn a lot about entrepreneurship from Jim Collins, Good to Great, Great by Choice, When the Mighty Falls, and Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0. And one more aspect of life where books could be very meaningful is about investments and financial freedom. So there is an amazing relevant book, Let's Talk Money by Monica Hallan. So this is an amazing book that I read last month. While there are a lot of American authors who write about financial freedom, investments, mutual funds, etc., there are many books in India as well, but this is one of the good ones that I've come across that an individual can really make good use of. So from habits to entrepreneurship to financial freedom or investments.
Any books related to food and beverage industry that you've come across that's made a difference?
I'll have to go back to my college books. I don't really remember a book. I said there's one book that I came across. I'm forgetting the name, but it had something to do with digital restaurant. I don't remember exactly what that book was called. I think it was Digital Restaurants or something, and that's a very interesting read to make use of technology in the restaurant field. But other than that, nothing really hits me right now. But this is what I'm reading, so I'm just sharing with you.
Yeah, I see that they are already on your shelf.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Any bold decisions that you had to make during your journey that you're still proud of?
So I think COVID, we all made a lot of decisions, and
Yeah.
they had to be bold because there's nothing else, no other choice for us. But
Yeah.
there's one thing that we did for our team during that time. During the first wave, we were all left. We were all caught in a. We were like, we didn't know what to do, but so the staff just went away, and a lot of things happened, and we were all in dark. But after the first wave, we never shut down our business. Of course, some of our outlets were shut, but we continued to do deliveries. Maybe just 4 days we were shut, but we continued to do deliveries throughout COVID period in Jaipur and other cities. One of the best decisions that I took, that when we look back now, is that second wave, Omicron, all these times, we never deducted even a single rupee from our staff, from our team's salaries. And we did not fire anyone during COVID. We, of course, made losses. It wasn't that we were making profits. But just because we took care of our team during those times, our outlet in Kota, the team was sent from Jaipur to run the Kota outlet. Like, nobody is local from Kota. So we give them accommodation to stay there, and they had to eat at the restaurant. So we only kept the restaurant running for staff food, for team food for a month or so, till the restaurant really kicked into, for a few delivery orders on Swiggy and Zomato. But remember, not deducting the salaries, taking care of our team members. I remember Tarun and me had to loan some money simply to pay up the salaries. But when the right time came, we came out of COVID riding that wave right up there, and our business went to the next level. And it was a decision that we took. We had an option, 20% काट लो, 30% काट लो, कुछ तो काट लो, let's conserve some cash. We don't know what's coming next month or month after that, but we didn't do that. We kept to our promise. We took care of our team, and it is still paying off.
Right. Kindness comes back in various ways.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's very sweet. I've not heard a lot of companies do that, but that's actually very sweet.
And this is a real story, by the way. So
Yeah, based on a real story. Yeah. Okay, one last question before we sign up. What advice would you like to give other restaurateurs who are, considering to carve a niche out in this industry, or who are already in this entrepreneurship journey? Like, are there any specific factors that you want to, or any strategy?
See, as far as food quality and all is concerned, I leave that aside, because only if a person is passionate about a cuisine or a kind of food or beverage, people get into this place. So I'll leave that away. But to run a business, the two extremely important things that I've already touched upon. One is your team. Other is systems and processes. If your team is sorted and your systems and processes are sorted, when I say systems and processes are sorted, it's a journey. Systems and processes have to be continuously improved. So you can use the word, the Japanese word called Kaizen, that stands for continuous improvement, or you can use a jargon called TQM, that's total quality management, or innovation, or a one personal marginal gain. There are a lot of words around it, a lot of jargons around it, but improving your systems and process, first having them and then improving them, really makes all the difference that there is in a business. So taking care of your team, being with them, nurturing them, growing them, developing them, and working on your systems and processes. Look at Toyota. I'm to say, if you compare a Ford and a Toyota, the biggest difference is made from the way they take care of the team and the way they focus on the systems and processes. So I was reading the Toyota Way, and they talk about at every Toyota workstation, when they're putting the car together, even where the dustbin should be and how far and at what angle has been thought about and has been placed accordingly. And it is never that it's perfect. It is still under continuous improvement. So when you work at that level and you improve your systems and processes, like, your kitchen preparation time may be 12 minutes. Can we bring it down to 11.5 minutes? Can we bring it down to 11 minutes? This is a continuous journey. And so team and systems and processes, I think if you have this in place and you work on this, not much is needed.
Right. That's the entrepreneur in you and the avid reader in you speaking. I think that's a very important advice. Yeah.
Thank you, Reema. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Varun. So this was an interesting chat. We are at the end of our podcast, and I learned a lot, and I'm sure our listeners would take a lot away from this. So thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure, Reema. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.